Hey there, Facebook Live. How you guys doing tonight? Listen, I have this, well, there's no cookie in it any longer, but there was a cookie in here. So I want to tell you the story about the cookie. So we are out in Ocean City and we're having fun and we're on vacation and we just had a great dinner and then we didn't get any dessert at the restaurant. And so we decided to go to 7-Eleven and see what we can find there. And so I'm trying to be really good and, and eat the way that I should. So Glenn goes in and he finds this chocolate chip cookie. And this is the package. It's called Lenny and Larry's The Complete Cookie. And if you guys can see that. But I mean, we were trying to eat, healthy and organic and all that kind of stuff. And this cookie really caught his attention. It said it has 16 grams of protein. It has 8 grams of fiber per cookie. It's non-GMO, no soy, no dairy, no eggs, vegan, kosher, fresh baked, no high fructose corn syrup, no cholesterol, no trans fat, no artificial sweeteners, no sugar alcohols, sustainable palm oil. It has only 4 grams of, it only has 14 grams of sugar. This thing is organic. I mean, it was like, oh my God. And the cookie's like that, as big as it looks on the bag. And so we're like all excited and it's like, wow, all of that. And the cookie tasted good. Until I went back and something said, look at it again. And so when I read all the ingredients, everything was good except for this. Under the nutrition facts, it says serving size 2 ounce. Servings per container 2. There was only 1 cookie in the bag, which means that you would have to have taken this cookie and divided it into 2 in order for you to be able to line up with the nutrition facts. So this cookie doesn't have 14 sugars, it has 28 sugars. Because when you buy a cookie and it says that there's 1 cookie in it, you usually expect to eat the 1 cookie, right? Well, actually what they did is made 1 big cookie, but actually everything is supposed to be half of this 1 big cookie. So you're supposed to split the cookie. So why didn't they make 2 cookies? Because they're trying to trick you. And that's what I want to talk about today. Watch the labels. Hi, I'm Anita Gibson. I'm a coach, speaker, educational strategist, and the president of PXL Academy, a learning center for homeschool students. And I'm also an up-and-coming author of the book Starfinder. And I'll talk with you about that a little more later on. But listen, watch the labels. Watch the labels that people tried to put on you when you were young. Like weird, dumb, you're nothing, you're just like, you know what I mean? When I was coming up, people thought I was just this strange Martian. I thought different, I dressed different, I talked different, I thought different. And because I was different, they just decided that I was weird. And so for many years, I hid my true self because who wants to be around somebody who's weird? Until I began to realize that I wasn't weird, I was different. And I decided that I was not going to receive that label. I realized the labels that people were giving me were false labels. And I was no longer going to receive them. Some more labels like you're unfit, you're lazy, you're not good enough. All those things are not true. But they're just like the people that are selling these cookies. They put all the good stuff on the back. But when you read the fine print, you find out the label is not correct. And so you have a choice. You can believe the things that people have said. the things that keep you stuck, the things that keep you from reaching your full potential, the things that keep you from being the best mom that you can be, or you can believe the truth. And in order to release a label that someone has put on you, you have to acknowledge that it is not true. Because sometimes, unfortunately, the labels that people have thrown at us, we have received. And so now we not only have to not listen to what they're saying anymore, we actually have to convince ourselves, because now that person's not saying it anymore. Our parents are not saying it anymore. Our teacher is not saying it anymore. Now we're saying it in the inside. I'm not good enough. I'm unfit. I'm weird. I'm dumb. I'm just like whoever that is. And so the enemy has strategically placed those thoughts, those labels in your life to try to keep you from becoming the person that God has called you to be, the mom that God has called you to be. Because if you are not effective as the mom that God has called you to be, you will not be able to have the level of impact on your child that you want to have. Not only that, if you can't get rid of the labels, what about the labels your child is walking around with? What about the things that people are trying to put on them? Teachers and administrators and friends and peers. How do you convince them that those things are not true? The things that are being typed on social media, the things that they're writing in notes, maybe passing around in the classroom. How do you convince them that those things are not true? If you are still believing some labels that people have given to you, there's power when you are able to release the labels that people have put on you, so that you can then begin to help your child. And so I want to encourage you tonight. If you are stuck, you have to get free, Mom. You have to be free so that you can help your child get free. You have to get free from the labels, from the lies that have been placed on you, that have been thrown to you. And you have to throw them back and say, no, I'm not receiving that. That's not who I am. And so I'm here tonight just to encourage you, because the better, the more that you are able to see the beauty of who you are, who God has created you to be, the better you're able to transmit that to your child. Listen, Mom, you are enough. Mom, you have everything you need to be what you need to be for your child. Mom, when you hear yourself saying, but I get so frustrated, I get so angry with them. Listen, if you don't have an anger problem, you have a peace problem. What do I mean by that? If you are a believer, then God has already dealt with the stuff that's the sin, the anger, the frustration. That is not your issue. He has given you something that you have not fully accessed. He's given you peace. So you don't have to be angry or frustrated or fearful. That stuff belongs to Jesus. He already died for all of it. And all he wants you to do now is to receive the things that he has for you. And so when you become angry, when you are frustrated, it's God's opportunity to give you peace. And all he needs you to do is to receive it. And all he needs you to do is to remember who you really are. Because the new you is not a frustrated you. The new you is not an angry you. The new you already has peace. And so all you need to do is to begin to receive the things that God has already given you. And when you begin to live life from that perspective, when the trouble comes, when the problems come, when the things come that frustrate you, that make you angry, you can take that moment to woosah and remember that God has given you peace. And remember, when you're feeling sad, that God has already given you joy. And as you remember that He has given you love and He has given you everything you need in the moment of your frustration, of your anger, of your fear, there's an exchange that's going on. He's trying to get you to think in the opposite spirit. So the anger comes up, but that's right. God has given me peace. And so I don't have to walk in that habit of anger because I'm already free, because Jesus freed me when He died 2,000 years ago. Now God is trying to get me to walk out my peace, my joy, my long suffering, my gentleness, my kindness. I already have them. Those are the labels that I need to focus in on, because those other labels, they are lies and they are not the truth. And the more you realize that, the more free you will become, the more unstuck you will become, and the better able you will become to help your child. So people used to call me weird. Yes, that's true. And I was an odd kid. I'll admit that. But you know what? God made me that way. He made me different because He had a purpose for me being different. I've been able to create programs and help students with out of the box kind of things because I think differently. And so that thing that people tried to label me with that was a negative was actually a gift that God had given me because He needed me to be that in the earth to help someone else. So I really want to challenge you, Mom, tonight to think about some things that you shy away from. To think about some things that you say, oh no, that's not good. Or because someone else told you it wasn't good. And I want you to re-examine that thing and make sure that you're not moving away from something that God has actually made you to be. Something that God has made you to be so that you can have impact in the earth. All right, guys, if you are interested in that kind of thing, I have a class that's coming up called Starfinder. It's called Helping Your Students to Win. But the first components are helping moms understand who they are, that they are stars in the kingdom of God, that they have strengths, talents, abilities, and resources that they are not even aware of, and that God has a plan for them to use those resources to help their children to become what God has called them to be. And so I'll let you know more about it as time goes on. But listen, watch those labels. Don't get tricked. Don't buy a cookie and they list out the ingredients and you find out the ingredients are really double what the cookie says. That it's not 14 grams, it's 28. Okay? Don't get tricked. Those labels that people are trying to put on you are lies. Believe God, what He has to say about you, and you will be able to move forward. My name is Anita Gibson, and I'll bid you a good night. Love you guys.